So we got over 1,000 gem threshold. So now that's we were gonna treat 1,000 as 0 because we want to make sure that we have enough for 2 Bad Moon Risings in case I get them, which we could be right now. I don't know. They try to coincide it with like the time of year, but like I said, last Halloween they didn't give it to me as an option. So like, oh, this is there because of St. Patrick's Day. But I mean, again, you would have expected what day would fit better than Halloween or some kind of a daylight savings time. I don't know what they would associate with Bad Moon Rising. Maybe only if we get like a fucking full moon. It'll have to be on a Friday with a full moon or something. Friday the 13th with a full moon. Then they'll give it to us. But yeah, we'll keep 1,000 in reserve, and then only above that, like if I get to 1,500, then I can buy some 500 gem other event card, because I doubt, as much as I wanted it, I doubt I would want like 4 of them, but I'd have half of mine to save up 2,000 just to make the wait worth it, because I don't know, I normally always keep 500 in reserve. Virus, like, why we gotta get this shit? Like, what does this have to do with the time of year now? You can tap. Oh, this is kind of a fun card though. I almost have half of mine to do it, because this is like one of those few cards in the game that I was saying has like some internal interactivity with it, when everything is automatic. You're drawing cards automatically. Obviously that's normal in card games, but you're playing cards and then they auto attack. You can't choose whether or not to attack. You can't choose a lot of things. So that is actually pretty fun and almost worth it. So I might even break my rule. Basically, of course, for me, there's no other way I can get them. I'm too much of a sucker to try to get stuff like that. I shouldn't really do it, but I do love the interaction and the mechanic behind that. Party like a champion. This will be something you have to pay real money for, which again, I wouldn't mind even if they charge you an exorbitant amount of gems for it, but they just don't do that with some of them. But I think a lot of the stuff in all these things that you pay money for, you can still get, right? The only one that people are saying you can't do that with is kitchen sink bundle, which I'm not even sure why or how they would have chosen just that one that you can only get with real money. Imagine making the game feel pay to win with just one pack and one pack only. Oh, only the kitchen sink zombie, and that one pack is technically pay to win, where you have to buy it with real money. Or I assume you could still craft it too, but I guess for my purpose that wouldn't work, but maybe you can't do that either. So yeah, we had to update it a couple episodes ago, which is kind of surprising. So I actually have a mind to want to buy that one, but it's not like we're going to get Bad Moon Rising anytime soon anyway. Win a game with Sneaky Zombie Hero. Refreshing. Come on, don't bug out the daily quest. We had a bug last time where I couldn't play a viewer no matter how many times I tried. Heroes, have you tried the daily challenge? I've almost never done that. Then what are you waiting for? Kick some grass, explore the world of PvZ Heroes. This is like more the overall one that they often have there. Okay, this is just bugging out, so let's give Captain Combustible the precedent as usual. But no, I would get that stupid spoon thing just for the simple fact of being able to... Again, that is a fun mechanic to interact with. I mean, what are the chances? What, is Bad Moon Rising going to be there like next week? I'm going to do it, whatever. I can't help it, dude. When you have gems, everything looks like a good purchase idea. As long as I get one Bad Moon Rising, I'm happy with it. But again, that would be assuming. I guess I'm getting jaded to the fact that we're just never gonna get it, so then when we do, I'll get fucked. But 500 is an absolute necessity. I just started the episode by saying I'm gonna treat 1,000 as 0 and not buy anything till we get like 1,500, and then I immediately buy something that's not even good, and it goes against my criteria of what I normally like to get for event cards in both ways. I normally say it should be a zombie card because the zombies have been cucked throughout this run. They haven't gotten any legendaries. They haven't gotten like anything really good compared to what the plants have gotten. 2 dark matter Dragonfruits and all this kind of stuff. And just remember, that means like not from me crafting, but just from a pack. I just randomly happen to get 2 dark matter Dragonfruits, which is insane. And then also I say that they should be high cost cards because that's what I lack, which this is neither. You can tap gravestones to see which zombies are hiding in them, but that is such a fun level of interaction. Fun and interactive game, by the way, where you're just able to, really do something very unique. And it is a good mechanic, but I mean, the problem with it is you're not going to be able to keep that out long enough for that to be relevant, right? It's just going to get killed in like one turn, so... Or you'll just play it as like a static 1-drop before the graves and stuff like that really become relevant. But you can do it on it. You can save it for a particular turn. That'll be like a meta play. You save it for when it's like turn 7 and they're playing like 5 things, and then you use it for that 1 turn effect. It's almost like a battle cry to just let you reveal all the gravestones right then and there, just so you know what's in them, and then expect that it's going to die the next turn. So I guess it's worth it on that level. Let me see which deck set actually fits in. I didn't even look at what type it was going to be. I mean, I guess it must be Green Shadow. It must be... Oh, it's only green shadow. That's always weird. I feel like some of these things should be more like hybrids, like the magic mushroom guy. As much as I like that it goes along with dark matter Dragonfruit as far as countering spells, don't you think the wall knight should be able to use it, considering he's literally using a wall knight in his hand? That's one of the great contradictions of this game, among many, like for example the fact that the zombies can't use team up, even though they always come in hordes, or whatever, like the fact that the cattail isn't literally the best card in the game because it's such a god level plant in the actual games. This almost makes it look like it has something to do with ice, just the appearance of it. Or like maybe I've seen it in some ice related deck too, but so this we just got to get rid of one little dinky thing, but this has been working pretty well with what we have as far as the curve, so I don't want to fuck it up too much. I feel like maybe the buff I don't use that much. This is actually very important. You might question, why do you have two of these random 3/3s, but whatever I get from that is often very good. So I feel like the 8 cost card I almost never win because of, but there'll be that one game that I would have had no chance of winning, and I just one-shot them because we have one decent thing out there and we just go crazy with it. So especially with the 3-peater, that can be nuts. You gotta have at least 2 of those. Yeah, 2 is sort of the magic number for most cards, right? You typically don't want more than 2 because you're just not going to be able to use it, especially with some of the higher cost things. I like the environments, but maybe one of them has to go because I don't know, it's hard for me to decide. That one has been really good though. Or no, wait, that we already have only one of them. It's actually really tough. I should almost get rid of one of these 1 cost things because it is, this becomes a 3/1, that's a 2/1. So you gotta have at least 2 of those. The team up is pretty handy a lot of the time. Plan does a bonus attack, draw a card. So it's a 2/2 versus a 2/1. I guess I'll sacrifice one of these, but it feels kind of like a bad idea. But no, Green Shadow overall has probably been my favorite hero in the whole game because he just started off so strong. When I first started playing, he was just really good. We had some of those good 3-peater combos where we kept buffing it and doing crazy stuff. And then it turns into obviously him getting dark matter dragon fruits as well. But as if we needed that. I already liked him that much before. Okay, what have we gotten here? Took like 10 minutes to load, where I can do my whole intro in that amount of time. I don't think I'm really going to use Bullseye much here though. Even though you think I should like the mechanic because of how much I hate Bullseye, or hate the block meter, but in the end it just feels, it ends up feeling not really even worth it. I've kind of been spoiling Captain Combustible just because since he always gets the first shot, sometimes I only play as him almost because he lasts like the whole episode, so some of them are getting neglected. Wait, where did the ranks go? Did they do what Hearthstone did, where they won't show them anymore just so you don't realize the game is dead or something? The 2, 2, 3. I don't get it. That was one of the features I was actually praising about this game. Oh, I get it. Enough people complained about the fact that you get ranked against like a rank 40 while I'm like rank 20. So now, but you'll still be able to discern that because what do you call it? It'll be like the color of their frame will still tell you kind of something. Or it could just be a bug among many bugs that we've seen with this game lately. You're on the quick match. Oh, I might have been in casual because I was playing against oh yeah, because I was trying to play the viewer there. So okay, never mind. Yeah, they wouldn't update this game in a million years, even if it was for a negative update like that. What am I thinking? That they would actually change something or add something to it? Fuck. Whatever, we'll still count this. So if Captain Combustible loses a casual game, that would be the ultimate disgrace. I would kind of want to save that for the synergy, but I'm not really seeing any good opportunity here. This would at least survive, so I'll just play it for the base value. Or I could have probably done a bonus attack there. I don't think I've ever played a casual game actually in this, because it feels like, what's the point? If I'm gonna get my ass beat by some clown here, I may as well just get destroyed in an actual rank game. It's +4, not really worth it, but just for the sake of how aggressive and fast this deck has to be, we whatever. We should probably just do it. Oh, we get the leafy into leafy synergy. That's not a bad idea. And then I could do the bonus attack with that one to save it. Why wouldn't you play on there? This guy must be a bot. Or he must have a trick answer for it. But even then, it's worth it to just do a bonus attack because that's what this is all about. All the bots must play in casual. That means, like, why the hell would you play that there then? Not that I wouldn't have been able to deal with it, but you can't just assume that. +1/+1 when it hurts the playing hero. I couldn't really have done anything about it, I guess. I love finishing people off with this effect. It's just feels like such a troll thing to do. Killer whale amphibious. The zombie playing on this gets +2/+1 amphibious. Let's see, I can destroy that with that. I don't know if it's really worth it. I should probably just try to play like multiple things here. Or I almost could have just buffed this to the 4 threshold, but I'm almost not expecting that that's really going to come into play. Am I going to lose to the goddamn rubber duck zombie over here? I love how some of them specify that they're zombies. Like, oh, good thing you told us. But then, like, some of them, like the pool shark isn't going to do that, so... Oh, so it's a pool shark. It's actually an amphibious shark. Not an actual... I don't get it. It's inconsistent. 0 out of 10 game. Yeah, PETA's gonna shut this game down for that. Just the same way that they try to shut down Power World. How they originally tried to shut down Pokemon too, because... Whatever, but I thought... The whole premise of Pokemon is to say we're subverting that issue because otherwise we would just make it using real animals and you know, train them and fight with them. But no, we're gonna invent our own animals basically. Okay, so that was my bad. I was gonna say though, that would have pissed me off if they got rid of the ranks. Yeah, show me what an unfair matchup we're getting or what an unfair matchup for them they're getting. It can go both ways, but I'm usually not that high of a rank, so it almost doesn't benefit me. Like, if my max rank that I've really been to is 20, the best matchup I could get is, you know, what am I going to get? A rank 1 at rank 20? Which could happen, the way this game works. Which I won't even complain about that to the extent that, you know, at least as long as the game is active and you can still play against people, if that's the price you have to pay, I'm fine with it. Maybe they should just adjust the amount of stars and stuff you win or lose for, you know, if you're playing somebody that much higher, even if you lose, it shouldn't really affect you. Or you should get like a consolation rank from it somehow. Okay, this might be okay because he only has 1. The whole trick with this deck is just play super aggressively. That animation almost looks different. Maybe they did update certain things, or maybe I just never pay attention to it, but... At least if they had done like cosmetic updates and things like that. That's even still fine because that's a big thing to use on something so early. These could get out of hand, but it should be fine. You know, I would almost just ignore it and still keep going face because you would think somehow... I don't know. I'll just do it because that's kind of how you win or lose with this, but it's not like he's going to beat me by outlasting me, so that's a bad play on the basis of just like you're not going to... He's not going to play like a really long-term strategy either, so I should probably not have done what I've been doing. Alright, so now I just wanted to wait for the perfect curve player where we get to play 2 of these together. He is only rank 6, so we should clearly underestimate him. That never bites me in the butt. But no, the one credit to this game is that it's one of the few auto-battler type games that I actually like, where I hate a lot of those other ones, like the League of Legends thing, where it's like... I forget what it's even called. It's like the one where it's kind of what that Hearthstone Battlegrounds was based on, I guess. What the hell is it called? Where like you just choose the units and you buff them and you combine them to make them better, right? That's almost what this fits into, that same archetype. Or even Hearthstone Battlegrounds itself, where you just choose the... It's hard to explain. Like they offer you a set of cards and then you choose one and then you keep buffing it up and you keep putting it down and they auto fight for you. You could actually do this, would be pretty strong in and of itself. No, you have to like avoid their zombies like the plague. Just don't even worry about them and just go face all the way, even if they're playing aggro against you. And generally speaking, he has done pretty well, Captain Combustible. Even that's fine too, they won't both die. And here we don't really have to fear the block meter too much. I don't think Super Brains is that crazy to recover with it, with all his stupid hero hero cards. The one way that they're gonna beat me is if they have like a million cards in their hand, right? And there's nothing I can do about it that way. This should be pretty much fine. It's not Legends of Runeterra because that's like the game, that's like a card game based on it. Dota Chess comes to mind as well, like a lot of these games that try to milk the IP of something else. It's some game that you would always see these big streamers do and maybe even get sponsored or promoted for. I'm completely blocking it out of my memory. I played it like one time on my Saturday format where I do stuff like that, but I didn't really care for it. But no, it makes it feel even less interactive than maybe a card game would already be, because you choose the stupid units. I don't know, I'll have to look it up. Actually, it's gonna bother me. Okay, 4-3. I mean, this would just kill you outright, but you do have 7. You have 7 brains, but really nothing to do with them. But no, I want to get a chance to play that stupid Spyrus thing that I wasted 500 gems on. I mean, the assumption is we'll get back to 1,000 before we get Bad Moon Rising available, because in other words, we'll never get Bad Moon Rising available because we just do that as a BM play. All those brains have nothing to do with them. Because yeah, I mean, we'll almost be at like 700 here if we just do the daily quest, but for me it turns into like a weekly quest or something else entirely. Okay, this is a more even matchup at least. But yeah, like our average opponent is like rank 30, even though we've never been past rank 20 myself, just because somehow it's some stupid scenario where that's still a good enough curve for me, I guess. Even for an aggro deck though, that's a pretty low standard. What was the thing I was saying? This might actually be worth it. But you know what? No, it is probably worth it. Those things can become so annoying. It's mainly annoying if they play like a ton of them together. One of them isn't really going to do anything. But it is pretty well statted too for that. Okay, now we'll just ignore everything. But that was maybe a bad... See now, oh, I should have mulligan the Poison Ivy for something else, but then what if it was something else higher too? But I guess with a deck like this, you have to mulligan a little more aggressively because I don't have too many low-cost cards in there, or I mean too many high-cost cards in it. This is a very dangerous start. So our solution would be still to go face. I'm a big proponent of playing the hero cards as soon as you get them, because like whatever mana you have left over at the end of the turn, you may as well just do it then, rather than having to go out of your way for it later. I almost have to do this because he's just getting way too confident here. Damn. You know, I'm not going to be able to deal with that because that's one weakness of this. If they get something big out there, I'm not going to be the one who has removal. Or if I get low, which I obviously am. Oh, you could do this, I guess, but it's almost just not even gonna work now. Fuck. Oh, you know, you could do it like this and do a bonus attack on him. Or wouldn't this work for the same purpose too? +2 for each other plant. No, it'll be a 2 then. If we do that, we will at least kill it. I highly doubt he's gonna have a way to actually do anything about it. Transform this into a random zombie that costs 2 or less. Not really that great of a effect. Oh my god. I'm just dead. We lose to our very own style of play. Even though oh no, we don't necessarily lose. The problem is, even if I do that, I'm not going to be able to do anything with it. That's the thing. Right, like he'll get down to 1, but then I still can't kill it, so what does it matter? But maybe I should have still. I don't know. That's kind of like a lose-lose situation anyway. And I'm going to lose to that regardless of what I do here. So, like, I could, like, put this down and buff. Or, like, I wonder if, let's actually test this interaction. I wonder if this would work to the, oh, fuck it, never mind, it didn't even work. Like, I wonder if it would work if you would play this with the environment. No, it won't, because that'll happen after. Like, you'll summon the 2/1/1s, but it won't count towards the effect of it. Okay, whatever. He did pretty good, as usual. Let's try to check out the zombies here a little bit. I always like to alternate, so it's like every episode, every hero gets 1 life, and I often barely get through them. I'm gonna have to change the order in which I do them, though, because I keep doing the same ones over and over, which is kind of unfair, right? We haven't played Super Brains in a while. We haven't played, whatever, Solar Flare. Not that I even really care for Solar Flare much, but still. We should almost continue it. I should remember where I left off and then rotate back somehow. Right, whenever it ends. But you would like to think I would have enough time to do it in one session where I could go through all of them, like I was doing at the beginning of the series, but I guess I can't because I don't have enough time. Or if you go on a really good streak, then it's a good thing if you only last with one. Like the whole episode, I'll just play as one guy, because I'll keep the big football guy because we have enough low-cost stuff there. Yeah, my style of play makes this game even more automatic than it would normally be, because it's like I play on curve so much and on the board so much, so therefore, you know, you're going to, what do you call it? You know, you're just going to play whatever the best curve play is and just go with that, and then you don't even have to think about whether to attack or not, so it makes it even more automatic. Okay, this is good too. Yeah, see exactly what I mean. Just play on the board. Are you really going to have an answer for this? Because you're kind of playing way too slow. Heal mid-rows, everybody's favorite. Oh, here we go. They must have wasted their gems on that too. But it's not really going to help you much against me. Yeah, that's fine too. These kind of matchups are what really make you hate the block meter, because I'd be off to such a good start, but that's going to end up helping them. So it's like, oh, I'm playing into their hands by giving them the fucking hero superpower cards, but there's nothing I can do. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just not play anything? Destroy zombie with 3 or less. Okay. That's actually a pretty good value card. Some of these cards you don't see very often, so I almost forget they exist. Would that be like lore accurate to the actual game? Like a Chomper would kill everything besides like a Gargantua or like a football guy. So does that acquiesce to the values? Because no, it would kill all kinds of things that have more than 2 attack. Okay, so that would be fine. This would be fine. We actually have gotten a number of event cards, but mostly for the zombies, I feel like. But then I got that stupid magic mushroom. Basically, I've just been, instead of buying packs, I've been buying those because I'm just kind of, it's more fun, I guess. Okay, we can save this one from dying. But then again, it goes against the whole no crafting spirit, where it's supposed to feel more like a dynamic organic run, where you're, and not just organic, because it has to do with plants, haha. But no, it's organic, like whatever you get, you're just kind of, you have to make the most of it, and you don't have any impact on it, which can be really rewarding when you get really good stuff like the Dark Matter Dragonfruit. But with the event cards, we do get to effectively feel like we're crafting them, because we get to choose whichever one they offer. We get to just guaranteed make it. Or even the one zombie pack for the Smash, they gave us the Nurse Gargantua. We got 2 of those. But those mechanics feel fair because, you know, whatever, you're paying kind of extra for them. Or not really, though. That's kind of a good deal for the nurse. It's kind of boring, though, because, like, again, you know what you're going to get, so it kind of makes it less exciting. And this is a contradiction, the Jesus goat interaction, where it can walk on water even though it's not amphibious. Okay, we may as well do that, I guess. I don't know. I don't really feel too threatened by them, but it just feels like their hand is really what scares me. Try playing with 4 or less. I'm going to save that, though. That Chomper doesn't bother me too much. They're down to 5, but I can't guarantee what I'm going to be able to do here. You know, this will throw off whatever bullshit removal they were going to do. Too bad we can't see his beautiful face because it gets cut off by our mobile emulated screen. Which, again, you might say, oh, that's how it's somehow meant to be. But anywhere else you put him, you would have. So I'll be incentivized. Oh, I'll play it in the center just so I can show off his appearance. Like, it wouldn't be cut off anywhere else. And it can happen on the other side too, but it's not quite as bad, I guess, because they would have to be leaning like to the right. Or maybe it happens where some of them are so big like this, where they block off whatever would be next to them. So if I put him here and I put somebody else there, he'd be blocking them from the left. I mean, from the right. Go nuts. When you play a team up plant, all team up plants get +1. Why don't we just do that? So we're still not going to kill him, but that's okay. You'll only hit me for 1. Armor is one of my favorite mechanics. In fact, this combines 2 of my favorite mechanics. Both armor and sort of not really untrickable, but just making tricks cost more. To the extent that this might actually be pretty good. Right, so he'll become invincible, and then we get a frenzy. Not that that's going to be a very strong well, that should be good enough, though. Come on, you can't possibly deal with this, especially when your tricks cost more. But no, that's why I like Dark Matter Dragonfruit so much, because not even the attack or the splash damage or anything like that, that I could almost care less about. My favorite mechanic is just your tricks cost 6 more, or 2 more, or whatever these various effects are, which there aren't too many cards in the game that do that. Or even the untrickable itself, but I don't even have any untrickable cards. Which they finally gave a keyword to in Hearthstone. Yeah, I live for this moment to see Rose squirm like that, because how much I hate Rose. Even in Garden Warfare, I found her annoying. Even to play as her, not even against her. Just an irritating style of play no matter where she goes. Come on, dude. What rank were they? They were ranked 38. Look at this. We're clowning people. So don't I deserve like 5 ranks for that? Because I shouldn't be able to beat a rank 38 because I'm only ranked 15. But I won't get jack shit for it. Look at it. That might just be like some other win streak bonus or something. But yeah, that's not really fair. At least if you're going to give me the unfair matchups, give me a bonus for when I actually beat them. Okay, let's see how many heroes we can get through here. Not that I really want to get through a lot of them, because I'd rather just go on a crazy streak with one of them. But I almost do want to see Green Shadow, who would be next, just to try out that stupid mechanic of the spoon or whatever, so you can see what's in the gravestones. The Psychic Spoon. So 2, 1... See, sometimes I'll keep these because, well, you know, you're going to be begging for it later. Like, oh, it's turn 6 and now I don't have anything big to play. And this deck is kind of more conducive to that, where you're trying to basically play a much more mid-range style, which explains the whole nickname that I always had, which was Kaiba Jr., where in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or in other card games, like, I would always play that style. See, Kaiba style in the show is basically, I'm just gonna play stuff on the board that's very powerful and high attack, and he even says that. Like, I'll summon a Vorse Raider, no tribute, 1900 attack, and just fuck you over with it, or I'll summon my Blue Eyes and just do that. So he's not concerned with the early game as far as aggro or anything like that, rushing you down, but he's also not concerned with like a late game elaborate strategy. He'll settle for, oh, I'll summon my Blue Eyes and I'll just beat you with it, because that's just what I do. And so the point is that I would do kind of the same things in my decks. I would just play mid-range, play on the board, try to summon big stuff. And so you play almost like you pretend there isn't removal. Like, oh, you summon this big thing after all that effort and tribute, but then, oh, they'll just use a simple hammer shot or smashing ground, or like in this game, they'll just use a squash or something on that. Or even what really sticks it to you is that one cost thing that we just saw. I forget the name of it. That's like, oh, destroy something with 4 attack or more that the Super Brands has. So for 1 mana, they're getting rid of something that you paid like 7 for. Which, even if you summon Dark Matter Dragonfruit, that's still efficient. Paying 7 to get rid of it. Not really, but okay, that would be fine. This is kind of the opposite of that effect. 4 or less instead of 4 or more. Okay. I almost gave this game credit for having a custom cursor, the way that's always a pet peeve of mine when games don't. You could always turn it off if you have an issue with it, but it actually technically doesn't, because this is just like the emulated one, right? It's not actually native to the game, so I don't know what it would look like if you played it actually on phone. I guess it wouldn't look like anything, because you'd be playing it like on your touch screen, so there wouldn't be a cursor. or some console games always emulate that, like Destiny. It's supposed to be at least the original Destiny, it's a console exclusive game, but it has that little cursor that you have to move around slowly. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's like this circle and you just have to move it with your other stick, but it's like, why even bother doing that if I'm on console anyway? The way the console normally works is like you highlight something, so like there is no cursor, it's just like or there could be, but like, you know, you just move your stick or move your button to go from one selected option to the next automatically. So everything is automatically just being interacted with. Sort of on rails, the way that the console experience already is in every way. Even in the sense of like auto aim, which is always an admission by developers, like saying, oh, when we make a game on console, we have the auto aim option, but when we make a game on PC, we don't put that in there, right? So many games don't have, like GTA 4 or something. You can't even put that on even if you wanted to. Just telling you, well, just aim with the mouse like you're supposed to. That's actually one-to-one interaction, but on console, we know it's so shitty that we have to give you that. So it turns it into like a game of whack-a-mole. And even as somebody whose aim is pretty bad, isn't that like the worst possible thing you could have done? Because I can perfectly kill it. This becomes a 7-2. Or no, wait, what? This becomes 7-2. Shouldn't you have done that then instead? This kind of proves that they're bots because they're making such suboptimal garbage plays. Or I could just be picking on bad players. I'll get banned for toxicity. I'll get banned for toxicity on my Twitch stream, not even in the game itself, which shouldn't even be a viable factor. That's what I always feel like when playing chess. I'm talking shit to people, but I'm not doing it on the site. I'm doing it within the game. Or within my stream. So that shouldn't count against me. Look at this beastly board. Speaking of Kaiba Jr., this is exactly what we mean. Summon something big and you just can't do anything about it, which of course, you obviously could do something about it, but just you almost hope that they don't. Or even in the anime, they almost respect that idea, where, you know, they're not going to just use some simple single removal card. It'll be some big, crazy event that they have to combine like 50 different things and make some, I don't know, it has to make it more of an epic moment. It'd be kind of anticlimactic, like, oh, I just play Smash and Ground, or I play Magic Cylinder, and I just beat you because of that. So, Combustible did okay. He's done pretty good the last couple episodes, honestly. Almost where he's hogging all the screen time, because if we only play for like roughly an hour each time, you know, how are you going to fit that in if he goes on like a 10-game win streak, even as being an aggro deck? Yeah, you just play Blue Eyes, and it almost got boring in the show a little bit, to the extent that, which I'm embarrassed to even say, I watched the whole show, but the point is that he would win almost every duel with the Blue Eyes in some way. You might think, oh, that's his signature card, but that's not really true. Like, it's not like Yugi wins every game with the Dark Magician. He'd win with all kinds of other stuff. He wins with Gaia the Fierce Knight going on the Rainbow because of Karibo's effect or some dumb shit like that against Gansley. Now, doesn't that seem like a bot play? We're trying to psychologically analyze these players to prove that they're bots. Why would a player ever do that, even though I've done that before myself? But he's a rank 23 too. So that would stand to reason. If he's not a bot, then the reason why he did that is because he's super aggressive and he's going to try to rush me down. But he's also probably not going to play like that, so it makes even less sense. Yeah, the old school principle in a card game that is often lost to power creep, not so much in a game like this, because that's the one benefit of not having too many cards or too many expansions, is the fact that there aren't going to be, you know, there isn't going to be much of that element where like a lot of the older cards get invalidated and it gets sort of bloated as far as the number of cards and removal and mechanics. The one thing that you do have is the ability to, oh shit, look at this crazy combo. Insane. But the point is that in most games that ends up happening at the beginning, in their earliest state, it's mostly about playing on the board, and you know, you have a little removal here and there, but you have to kind of keep yourself honest. Whereas over time, like in the current state of Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone or something, they'll just have a million removal cards, a million healing cards, a million cards to stall out the game to get to some win condition or crazy endgame thing. So it's not even a question of control. Like, there's always decks that do that, but it just becomes, you know what it almost becomes is like, it pushes everything over one level. Like, originally in the game, control was like, oh, you get to like turn 10 and then you play some big card and they can't deal with it, or you outlast them a little bit, like Armor Warrior. You get a lot of armor and then you summon Alexstrasza and they can't really or you know, just some big high statted minion, and Ysera, and then they can't deal with it. That was control. Now that would be considered like an aggro deck or a mid-range deck. So like what becomes control now is way more extreme than that, where it almost feels scripted and too many win conditions and way too automatic, and then way too much removal, too many options basically. Then mid-range starts to feel like what control used to feel like, and then aggro even feels like what mid-range used to feel like, where they have too many options. You might say that's the natural progression of a game, where that's going to happen, but it's also just the problem with power creep, or the problem with the game being around for too long, where it just doesn't feel natural for what you're trying to do. Like, oh, hunters are supposed to be aggressive, or not even in general, but you know, oh, this aggro deck for a hunter in 2024 has this big elephant 9/9 that clones itself and turns into 3 9/9 elephants for you doing some stupid quest within the game. You're role playing and doing a quest like summon 10 minions, period, and just like you're not going to do that anyway, and then you get rewarded for doing nothing. So basically, or something you would have done anyway, and then you get this crazy shit like, oh, and that's an aggro deck, by the way, wait till you see the control, or whatever. It's just stupid. This is actually hard to say what would be better, but for the buff, I guess I'll do it. Almost makes it seem like we have some synergy going with that, but you have to realize a lot of these we just put together with like the best we can do. So sometimes they're in there not because of that a factor archetype, they're just in there because, you know, that's the best 2-cost thing I have, or that's the best 3-cost thing I have. But with this deck, I sort of have it split between why that reaction for the cattail. You're gonna win anyway, or no, actually you're not. And by you, I mean me, obviously. Like, I'm talking to the Smash. Like, why are you freaking out? Like, imagine if you came back from this. I'd be actually impressed. But no, like, we have to make the best of what we have, but we have kind of 2 archetypes split between in this deck because we don't have enough of either one. Which is where you could easily fill in the holes with crafting, but shooting Starfruit. This one doesn't look right, though, compared to the actual Starfruit. Like, move a plant, doesn't really matter, but it just won't get the chance to attack then, so you'll die. Oh, maybe this is the one that I was confusing it with, but it's still not anything to do with ice. I feel like there's one of those that looks like that has to do with ice. I'm totally doing that because I'm a bot, not because I'm BMing him. It's not bad manners, it's bot manners, haha. Like, we have a little bit of sports synergy with this, and we have a little bit of, I wonder if I've ever forgotten to end playing a hero when I've lost a game. Maybe I'm just so in the routine of, you know, I'll just play the next game without thinking about it, and I actually cheat my format, but I feel like I haven't done that. It never is an issue because I always win anyway. That raw zombie is actually kind of garbage. But keeping these high cost ones seems to be serving me decently well, because you're going to expect that you're going to get at least that far into the game. But with the Dark Matter Dragonfruit, that sometimes doesn't happen. Like, where we don't even get to turn 8. Either we win by then or we get destroyed by then, but you still don't get the chance to do it. But no, what I was saying is that, yeah, we have like half sports cards, half pet cards. I don't think that's really worth it to do. It's tempting, but unless you really feel like he's going to rush you down, there's going to be something far more valuable to use it on later. But see, I should almost play on the board here because maybe not yet though. But no, it doesn't make sense because, like I said, I am holding these higher cost cards back, so I wonder if I'll get to rank 20 today for the first time in a couple seasons, because I didn't, in a couple months basically, because I didn't I haven't played enough to really do that lately. You know, it'll be sports zombies, even though, you know, that doesn't make sense. I almost should have done the flag zombie there, but it felt kind of like a bad curve play. Now I can at least do like these two together, and you can even stack these effects up. I can't remember if they can cost more than, and I kind of like that too. It shows you like how long you've been playing, and it shows you kind of like an experience through your collection, the way I say like with the cosmetics in Magic the Gathering Arena. Like, oh, I have this one cosmetic that I had to play in this one season to get, and so therefore, you know, the, kind of like what I've been through with the game. Oh, I played during that one to get the Timber and card back. I played during the Dinosaur one to get this other cosmetic, the Gishath Avatar. So it kind of, you're wearing your experience on your sleeve with all the cosmetics. You're kind of doing the same thing with these event cards, kind of, because even though you could just craft them, you know, it's showing like, oh, I was playing at that time and I spent 500 gems like a clown on this guy. It's more like a clown reveal experience where, you know, oh, look how many gems this clown has wasted on all these other things, because either he doesn't play the game enough to get those event cards, the tickets normally, just do those and get it that way, people always say, but it would take me forever and I don't even like playing that mode and it's just not going to happen. But then on the flip side, you have the ability to basically do it here too. Like, you could just craft it, of course. Oh shit. But I don't do either of those things, so you know that everything I have is either some organic thing that you got naturally from... Fuck. There's not really much I can do here. I mean, it's +2/+2. Again, just do it for the sake of it. That is very dangerous, but there's really not much I can do about it. Yeah, just move it in the water, and if it can't swim, then let it drown. Like, what the fuck? Oh, shit. That's what you know, the opposite of what we normally see, where they just do it at the beginning of the game to my face for no reason, but that one at least actually pays off. Okay, so you lose there. Now we might get a chance to see that Spyrus thing. Let's see what the flavor text actually is on it. I don't read like all the flavor text for every card necessarily, although one episode I should do that, but I at least should use it when I get a new card. Right, even from a pack, if I get a bunch of new cards, I should use the opportunity to read it then. So, you can't hide anything from her. Don't even try. She'll get inside your head. Not really very inspired there, unless I'm missing some other pun within it. Yeah, we'll get a chance to try that mechanic out, which, that's the sad part. I'll play it like on turn 1 or something, and then they won't even have any gravestones out to look at. Season ends in 3 days, so I guess I would have to do it today. I doubt I would really have time to do it, but let's see. Yeah, those have been the two mainstays of what I've been playing. A pretty beautiful hand. Like, we've been playing only Captain Combustible in the Smash, because that's all we have time for, because they're clearly doing so well, not just because it's such a short episode. Rank 25. Again, some of these aren't really that unfair, but still, it's an average of like a 10 rating differential, even if it's somebody 10 rating below me. Like, we played the rank 6 at the beginning here. You know, you have to kind of just ignore what they're doing, because you're not really going to win in the long-term way if they keep cycling value and doing stuff like this. Yeah, like, you know, everything in my collection either came organically from a pack that I had no control over, or it came from some guaranteed thing that you get. Like, I had to pay 500 gems for the Smash pack or whatever it was, or I had to pay 500 gems for an event card. At least that feels like it's expensive, but maybe that taints the whole... No, but I mean, how much can you really restrict yourself? Like, it's a no crafting, no shop, no purchase, no pack, no nothing run, where you just have to literally go with your starting deck only. And that's almost what I was going to do at the beginning, like do it as a permadeath hero gauntlet. I'll play as each hero until I lose, but then it turned into this monstrosity of a series, at least as far as the length. Like, it's a little bit too much. It's a good game. I guess we give it its swan song by doing this, because it's like my first playthrough and my last playthrough, because it's not like I'm going to, you know, it's one cohesive collection that you're doing, unless I wanted to try like some mods or something. Or everybody would just say hack it for the cards, but the whole intrigue of this series is the fact that you're going to this was like a recent card that was in the event section there, but no, like, you know, hack your collection for cards. But part of the fun of this format has been not being able to determine that. That's what I never understand actually about meta games in general, and this game is maybe a bad example because it's not really all that hardcore or anything like that, but the point is that I almost want to do this, but maybe it's not the best idea. I guess it was worth it. No, but it's like this whole meta obsession. Like, so if you play a game for the first time, right, like Magic or Hearthstone or an MMO even, whatever, I'll just give you character boosted to max level with all the best gear in the game, and you'll be the best character on the server. Or I'll give you the best deck in the game, and you'll already be able to get to Legend Rank 1 or something, right? You'll be able to get to Mythic and all that from day one. Isn't that boring then? Because sure, you can experiment with other decks and fuck around, but don't you want something to work towards? Like, I want to start off bad, getting my ass beat at Bronze Rank 10 or whatever, and I have to work my way up and gradually build up my collection. So it's not even like a free-to-play shill mentality that, oh, you should have to spend real money to do it. It's because I don't do that either. It's more just the experience of it, like with a single-player game or anything else. You could just cheat and use a code to get to max level and get all the best stuff in the game, but you kind of want to be restricted in the sense that you want to have something to work towards, and that's part of the progression of the game. And once you get to the end game and you're really strong or whatever, it's almost like... I don't even know exactly what to do here. I guess you could do that one. This card is almost always good value, no matter what. And it has such incredible upside. Magnifying grass, dude. The puns never end. This game does actually have some pretty good ones. You would think they would have exhausted them all from that. That's almost all the card design is. They just come up with an idea, like, you know, let's come up with the pun first and the mechanic based on the pun. It's like that's their bigger priority. Some intern was hired. Like, just come up with as many funny puns as you can, and that's it. That's the game. Now we could move that to this lane. So either you trade or you're forced to move it there anyway, which maybe that's better. No, but maybe that fucks up because you get to... Well, you'll have to... Whatever, you'll have to consider putting something else there, which could end up hurting me too. But no, I've gotten a couple event cards that maybe aren't that good or I shouldn't have bothered, but... Like, should I have bought 5 packs or should I have bought 1 event card guaranteed thing? And probably, if I had bought 5 packs each of those times, I would have gotten something better or more interesting even than that, or at least a wider variety of cards. It's almost like I'm satisfied with my collection to some extent, but I shouldn't keep doing it. But I have to get up to 1,000 now, and then once I'm over 1,000, then I'll decide. I keep saying, oh, I'm satisfied now, I won't buy any more event cards, but then I see one that I like, and I can't help it. Yeah, give me the thing now so I can see what's in his gravestones, but... I would have had to already have it, though. 100 event card gets plus equal to that cost. Not really the best curve play, though. I should do, like... maybe this, and then maybe some buff that he wouldn't have been expecting. This does damage, draw a card, that's fine. Okay, that's not really a big deal either. Nothing really crazy happened there. So we'll kill everything besides that other dinky 1/4. Yeah, I'm nothing if not known for formats, if anything else. Not even necessarily being good at them, but just even like coming up with them in various games. And you might think, oh, you do that for content or because you stream, but that's actually not even true. These are the kind of things I would do like off stream and my own, so I never get bored of stuff like that. Like somehow that makes it more interesting to me, not less, because you have to actually build towards something. So even like in a single player game, like the 1 stat only kind of idea, like I'll make a character that only gets 1 stat. Like you have strength, intelligence, all these other things. I'll be like, no, fuck it, I'm just gonna be a strength only character the whole game. Just because I feel like it, not even because, oh, it's a challenge or anything. Just so you give yourself some character identity, like, oh, I'll have my strengths, pun intended, and weaknesses. So I'll be like super squishy, I won't have any health, I'll be stupid, my character in Fallout won't even be able to talk, because like the original one was like that. If you don't get intelligence, you can't even speak to NPCs, which is a very interesting and punishing mechanic that makes sense, but it's not the sort of thing you would ever see in today's modern gaming landscape. That's the old RPG adage that I always say, like, you're defined not by what you can do, but what you can't do. And so, like, you kind of have your strengths and weaknesses, rather than just having, you know, being balanced overall, but then having extreme strengths in one direction is more what you see in modern MMOs and stuff, where you know, you're good at everything, but you're really good at this one thing instead of, no, you're really good at this one thing and you're really bad at everything else. So that's kind of the price you have to pay. I actually might just die because team up, when you play team up plan, all team up plans get +1. And I guess it doesn't really even matter what I put there. Or no, I should have put it there for the trade though. These guys always remind me of the Whirlindas for some reason from, I mean, I guess you can see why. Binary stars. The twirling Whirlindas from, wait, fuck, I didn't even see what killed me. We need a backlog. We need a replay option. But whatever, okay, fine. Green Shadow Falls, we didn't even get to show off that stupid thing that would let us, see their graves. We could try Infinity, I don't know. No, I feel like maybe I've neglected Super Brains. Let's make a point to play him. Now he'll do really well and make me jealous because he's been waiting all this time. You know, like in Super Smash Brothers, I would play through like every hero. I actually did it with a friend too. Like we'd go through every single hero in the game, every character in the game, and we'd both play until we lose one. The problem is this guy was an actual professional player, not like a high level, like he was winning tournaments, but he was at least good enough to go to events and stuff. And he was like a god with Sheik. He wasn't, you know what the stereotype with Melee was actually Fox. Everybody would play Fox, but he was actually really good with Sheik. Which I'm sure, you know, that like speed kills in that game. The fast characters have an objective advantage and the slow ones suck. Like Ganondorf is just garbage. Not saying people still didn't have success with Ganondorf, but like at the high level, that's going to be defining whoever's faster. But oh, look at this, dude, rank 48. Dude, nice matchmaking, thumbs up. Make me wait a minute or two rather than have to deal with this shit. Now, do I get to rank 40 if I beat this guy? Because I almost deserve to. See, now you're gonna make, oh well, Super Brains look so bad, haha. You haven't played him in so long and now you're gonna get destroyed. But also you have to go against a rank fucking 48, which I've never played on the ladder before, I don't think. I've only played you know, like friends maybe who are that high, and they're probably just trolling me, like, you know, they're not gonna actually go all out. Oh god, I just gotta play it super aggro, like I'm not gonna hold anything back. I did that just for the card draw. Like, he's almost gonna maybe toy with me too, but this is just not a fair matchup. You're playing on that one stupid site that Magnus was associated with, Chess24, and you play Magnus by, whatever, sheer privilege or something. But then you're, you know, it's what a mismatch that could possibly be. You'll be some 1500 player going against Magnus, and even if he lost, he'll say, oh, it was just because I was trolling or something, but I would hope you are, because you can't fucking do anything otherwise. Like what, I'm supposed to beat you if you weren't trolling? Like when Botez beats him, oh well, she only beat him because he was in a, I'm caught in a weird spot of defending Botez here on this issue. That shows you I'm objective. Like, she deserves credit for that because, like, yeah, she had time odds by like 30 seconds to 5 minutes or 1 minute to 5 minutes, but like obviously she needs that, because what do you expect her to do? Beat him? What do you expect her to do? Beat him when they have equal time? Obviously you don't stand a chance. So like, that's so stupid. Like, even when I've done that, oh, I beat a 2000 player, oh, you only beat me because you had time odds. Like, no shit, but you were beating me every other game when I had time odds because, you know, I'm just not very good. That's the point. Like, I'm obviously gonna lose, but, and not even because he's better than me, but because he's got a better deck than me, probably. You would expect at rank 48. But this at least gives you a good example of what that's going to look like. When destroyed, deal 3 damage to a zombie here. Oh, here we go. That's one of my favorite cards, at least. Do it in style, literally. You know, we're gonna get him low, but it's just not gonna be enough. That's the problem. But at least I commit early on to say, like, the only chance we're gonna have is to go full aggro, but you never go full aggro, but there's nothing else I can do. We do actually have some decent cards here, but you're just not going to be able to fit them out. Like, by the time we do this, it's going to be too late. You know, I often say that I normally don't see that card very much, as busted as it is in the actual PvZ game, even though I'm still getting destroyed to Portal Combat even without that. That doesn't even bother me too much, the damage I'm going to be taking from that, but it's just dragging the game out a little bit too much. For now, I'm going to have no chance, because you see, like, the quality of my cards has dipped so much now. You can just play everything, and it just doesn't even matter. And now it almost behooves him to just kind of wait around, because my board is full, and I can't do anything about it. So just don't even play anything, and make little buddies next door. Okay. Oh, here at next door. Zombies played here are in gravestones. Maybe I should have done that sooner, but I don't even know what the point of it is. So almost should have just waited in case he plays an environment later himself. But yeah, now I'm just completely burnt out of what I can do. That Wizard Gargantua is probably the best thing I had. I have very few high cost cards. We've gotten him low enough where it actually feels kind of validating, but it just isn't really going to matter. Pro plan that has 5 or more, which he hasn't really gotten to that point yet, but he's working towards it. You might think, oh, I'm playing to his hands by doing this, but it doesn't matter because, you know, if I didn't play like this, like, what chance was I going to have? Wait till the late game and get destroyed then? Because he's obviously, that's going to favor him, you would think, with the higher quality of deck he's going to have. I'm sure there are aggro decks that are up there in the rank too, but some pirate thing, like, come on, bro. That one almost shouldn't count against you, but let's give some plant one chance here. That is the highest matchup I think we've ever seen on the ladder, and think about the disparity. You're 32 ranks off. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Let's do Solar Flare since we've been neglecting her, actually. Although I do love me some Wall Knight. Yeah, fuck Solar Flare. Let's just do this. But no, we were trying to do Super Brains because we like him so much. Or no, because we've neglected him so much. Not that I really like Infinity or anybody either. I kind of like the Smash just because, whatever, we've at least had a decent collection come together with him. So this isn't too bad. I don't know if I want to have both of those environments though. Yeah, now that got me in the mood for the Disco Ball because we got one of our own, which I consider that to be really a legendary to me just because I like it so much. And it is a very good card. I mean, it can be easy to destroy, like with the stupid bowling ball type thing, because it has no attack, but that's just the price you have to pay, I guess. +1 for the rest of the game. I love how it makes you play that like on a thing. Like, why does it even matter? Right, like, you're just playing a period. Doesn't matter like what lane you play it on. Okay, this you almost would want to wait, but I guess I won't because whatever I conjure, I might not be able to play it, so that would have been just a dead curve kind of turn. This is arguably the most important card in the whole deck because it synergizes with so many different things. The water chestnut, these things, there's something else, like... Yeah, I need that untrickable tall nut thing too. Okay, now I'll have no choice but to do that. As +2 makes more sense to do it on that. I always abide by the principle of freeze all gravestones. That might be good later, but it's also good now, so fuck it. Abide by the principle of like share the love idea. Like, don't buff that and overdo it too much. Because if you overcommit to one thing, then it makes his removal more rewarding for you. Isn't that kind of weird though how that happens? Like, now it's showing you the animation for another hero, even though you're playing as them. So he's like role playing as her. I wouldn't even say that's a bug. Like, it makes sense why they do that, but it's just, I've never really thought about that too much before. Okay, go here. I mean, we're getting a pretty good start to the point that he's kind of so much on the defensive, but he's going to outlast me, as these people often do. But he's only a mere rank 23. Like, is this Brains really going to help you right now? Am I playing with 4 or more? Okay, fine. And see, like, that's a legendary, but I don't really have anything that's supporting it too much. So, like, it's not a bad card, but you're very unlikely to... Well, it kind of synergizes with this deck, though, very well, because if you protect it with the walnut, it's going to be good. This is going to be kind of a waste, although actually it won't be. Because it'll give it to that, so you always get 2 damage in. 4 damage in makes it feel kind of worth it. It's very unlikely he'll be able to deal with that, but then again, he can have plenty of removal up his sleeve. There's some AoE that might clear out. I don't know if he has it, but not that even. Fuck, he does that just to get rid of the one Astrocado pit thing. Deal 3 damage, zombie in every lane. Yeah, how about if there's a zombie in no lane, it does 0 to punish you for playing like such a pussy and only using removal the whole time. Imagine getting beaten down by these 2-attack walnuts the whole game, but I guess this is the whole beauty of the deck. Now we'll even use the heal. That strike through should be pretty good for me. Now summon something big and I can easily deal with it 3 times over. But I'm gonna get fucked over Zombot 9000 or something. Sometimes I even misspeak on things like that. Like, I don't know who can even use what card. I never pay attention to that really, so. But look how he's overdoing that when he's gonna like lose this turn almost. Or I guess they cost so little he can still afford to do it, but. You know what people do with this game almost, I noticed? Maybe because it is such a casual card game, or maybe it's because seems like such a moron, not like I'm a card game expert or something with years of experience and so many under my belt. But no, it's more like they'll explain things in a very matter-of-fact way, which is coming from a good place, but it's like they'll say like something super obvious as if it's like, you know, it's like how in some card games they try to metagame and tell you, oh, you should use this super fuck. You could still lose if they're in the wrong kind of lanes. Someone won like in the water. Yeah, oh shit. So now you'll be down to damn it. We still would have a chance because of how little health he has, but the frenzy is actually gonna almost kill me though. Oh, but he actually survived that too. And the thorns would kill him here too. But no, like how people say in some meta context, you would look at it from a perspective of he has too many brains, so now he's just gonna destroy me that way. Like both of these would have to get through, which just isn't going to work. And even that didn't serve a purpose because, but it doesn't really matter. Right, like I was gonna die anyway. And even if I destroyed this, it's not gonna help me kill him, so fuck it. Like some of these matchups, you just don't have any chance of winning. No, but like they'll metagame and tell you some super in an MMO, do this character build or a single player game, or you know that's one of the most common forms of oh shit, dude. One of the most common forms of interaction or what people like with stuff is just to act smarter than other people or to try to give them advice and you know whatever. So it comes from a good place. But what's funny in this game is they'll state it in such a matter-of-fact way where it's like, oh, you know, that's an AoE, you should use that to hit multiple targets. Like they're explaining it like you've never played a card game before, or like, you know, use a cherry bomb, oh, it's an AoE, use it to hit multiple targets. Like, and they say it with not even like they're being snarky about it, but because maybe this game is like that because it's such a casual card game that you don't know. It could be like the first card game that you're ever playing or whatever. So it is interesting that it brings out that element. So it brings out sort of that fake elitism that people have in games like Magic, but in a nicer way, like where they're genuinely saying it like that, not because, oh, haha, look how they're trying to show off and they know so much better than you, and like whatever, they've studied the game for years and that's the funny thing with me though, is like I could play a game like that for years even, and it's more like I just don't care. It's not even that like, oh, haha, you're so bad. It's kind of like how I was with chess, but now I'm actually taking it seriously, like where you might understand that, oh, you have to study the game and learn theory and stuff like that, but maybe you don't care. Maybe you just want to do some troll openings and just have fun and play variants and like, you know, there is an element to that. So you might think that's an excuse, like, oh, you're just trying to have fun. It's an excuse for like, oh, why you're so bad. But there is a certain commitment you have to make sometimes with a certain game where, you know, like, what are you actually trying to do with it? Are you even trying to ladder? Like, even in Hearthstone, when I would do that, it's like, okay, you get to Legend a couple times, but then so what? Now you get bored of it. Now you just want to fuck around with other fun ideas. You just don't want to do that every single month forever, right? Where you try to, whatever, climb the ladder and stuff like that. Or like with Magic, I'm almost trying to save that for a special moment. Where like I haven't tried to get to rank 50, or not rank 50, that's this game. Try to get to Mythic rank, but I'm trying to save it for like almost the series finale. I'll do it once and that'll be that, like me beating the game. Like, I don't know, it gets so repetitive and monotonous too up the ladder. And people say that even in this game, like, once you get to a certain rank, or as you're doing that, you'll be using the same deck over and over because it's the only good one that's going to make it, right? Where the meta's stale and very narrow, and then you're going to be going against the same 2 or 3 matchups. So it turns into like rock, paper, scissors at that point where, oh shit, I lost this just because that's the one matchup that counters me, and then I win these other games because that's the one matchup that favors me. So, you know, there's 2 or 3 decks that just keep taking turns beating each other up, and it's almost predetermined based on what they're using. So it doesn't even come down to the player being better. It's like, oh no, I only lost because I played a priest and I was playing a warrior, so they countered me or whatever. Okay, see you tomorrow.